Hi, my name is Kevin McManaman. I'm here with the Facebook group Make a Stand in the Community. I'm here sitting with Alex Astorga that's running in District 4. Um, would you like to tell us a bit about yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Alex John Astorga. I'm running for Antioch City Council District 4. I am a small business owner here in Antioch. I am also on the board of a local nonprofit. I have a bachelor's degree in business management. I have a master's certificate in information systems management, and I'm a Stanford certified project manager. I'm an Air Force veteran, and I've lived in 5 different states and in Europe. I have lived here in the Bay Area since 2010, or so it's 2001, and I've lived here in Antioch since 2010. Over the last 7 years, we've actually owned a home here. Uh, I am married and I'm a Californian. I've been in California. I was born in Pomona, if you know where that's at. I was raised in Covina, both down in Southern California. And I've been with my husband for 30 years now.
Awesome. My next question was how long you lived in Antioch, but you touched base on that already. So my first question after that is, what neighborhood do you live in and why? What are your favorite places to spend time in your neighborhood?
Okay, that's a great question. I don't know the answer to that, Kevin, to tell you the truth. I've looked it up on several different real estate sites, and it just says Black Diamond so far. But if you know where, I'm going to get this wrong here. McColumney, and Pruitt Ranch.
I'm very familiar with that. Actually, my mother-in-law lives very near that area.
Oh, okay, cool. Maybe I knocked on her door when I was getting signatures.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So one of my favorite places, things to do here in Antioch, I like going out hiking. Nortonville Trail, that's kind of obvious. All that stuff with Black Diamond Mines. And there's a trail that I really like because it really kind of gets me from where I want to go. And it doesn't have a name that I know of. I've looked that up too. It's over here by Diablo Elementary School or West Diablo Park. Trailhead starts right there. And you take it up and around, and you end up going down to Hillcrest, and right across is by Jim. So,
That sounds like an awesome time. The next question I have for you is if you could change one thing in your zoning code, what would it be and why?
okay, this is another good question. Okay, so I would make more multi-use zones. So kind of like if you're familiar with San Jose, Santana Row in San Jose, where they have shops all on like the first floor, and they have apartments or condos or even townhouses above that.
Hmm.
I think that would give a little bit more sense of a community to an area, and that's going to be one of the things you see me pushing through this entire interview is the sense of community, and we really need to get back to them.
Awesome. The next question I have for you is how do you plan to involve residents in the decision-making process in our town?
COVID-19. Oh my gosh, how do you reach out to people? Okay, that's again, I'm awesome. Um, City council meetings, of course, because we're going to get a lot of feedback at them.
Hmm.
I'm going to have social media accounts, so of course, Twitter, Instagram. Actually, what's the name of the one site there? It's called Make It Stand for Your Community. I can watch that site and learn something on there, I hope. And next door as well, believe it or not, get a lot of good stuff from there. And hopefully, eventually having town halls and actually going to assemblies and meetings and stuff like that, and actually meeting with people.
Awesome. If elected, what three steps would you put our city on a firmer financial footing?
Okay, so balance the budget, number one. I think that makes it the easiest. Number two, we would apply for grants and foundations and get as much money as we can. There's literally billions of dollars that go unclaimed. And then finally, promote Antioch. I was going to say sell Antioch, but I thought, no, that came off like promote Antioch to industry and big business, attract some big employers here in Antioch. Uh, that being said, being a small business owner myself, the small business owner entrepreneur is the backbone of America.
Oh, of course. Uh, if you received a $1 million grant to use for the city any way you wanted, what would you do with it and why?
Okay, I would come up with some internships and mentorships, work with local businesses to get kids involved in working with business right away, and also job training. And if there's any of that $1 billion left over after that, probably STEAM. So that's STEAM. So science, technology,
Yeah.
engineering, arts, and mathematics.
I really like that because I think job training is very important with the youth right now because a lot of them don't even know where to go after high school.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, so the next question I have for you is what's your stance on police reform versus defunding?
Police reform versus the defunding. Okay, this is a huge question. This is pretty much what this whole election is going to be all about.
Mm,
Um, I've been around enough years to know that police reform, at least in what we're calling police reform today, doesn't work. It's got to be transformed. I believe in reimagining public safety. This has been done. We have other cities as examples. There's books on this, community policing. So what I'd like to do is get with the Antioch police force and say, help us design a new way of policing here. What the system that we've been using for well over 100 years is no longer adequate for our times and our situations. We need to make that a little bit clearer. Police training is big. We're coming back around to these questions, so I'm going to say some of it. But yes, police training would be huge. And as far as budget, or actually, you didn't say budget, you said defunding. I would have to say that um, I'm not into just redlining the budget and striking it down straight away. I want to get all this feedback. I want to get homeless counselors in. I want to get in all the people, all these things like people that are tripping out on drugs. Get a drug counselor in there. People that are just doing things that really the police don't need to be doing. We need to get professionals in there that know how to handle that and are trained for that. I'm saying we still need police, but we need to have a different idea. We're asking too much of the police. Oh gosh, you did get into a big question here. We're
no, actually,
asking. Go ahead.
I was about to say you actually hit it on the nail in the head. A lot of what you're saying is the same ideals as my group. What we believe is just a lot of reform, mainly verse to fund. If we do want to, we ask too much of the police as much. Like they're not social workers all the time. You know, they can't.
Exactly.
Yeah, they can't do everything. We want to take the load off of them. Is what how we're trying to approach it. But
Exactly.
continue.
Exactly. So yes, like I said, I do believe in the police, and we do need to understand better, have a better relationship with them. I believe there's a big trust issue going on with the police,
Exactly.
and it goes both ways: the police trusting the people, and the people trusting the police. And we need to work on that as well. And what was my other one? Uh, I suppose we'll come around to it when we get to the further question.
Awesome. So the next one I have for you is, what would you do to help solve the homeless situation in your district?
Again, this is a huge question, in so much as it's more than what a city can really grapple with. But we do need to address this in some way. And one of my ones is to send out, again, counselors that handle drug addiction, counselors that handle conflict resolution, different people, and there's housing, yes. Thank you. So, get housing counselors out there, getting people out there. So the people that don't want to be on the street, who do not want to do that, have a way out and some way to get back into productivity. So one of my big ways of handling this would be job placement and jobs boards and helping people find work and employment. So again, that gets back to what I was saying before with training. Train not just the kids from the get-go, but train the adults that we have out there right now. Maybe they're a really good XYZ person, but maybe if the job is actually D, then we train them to do D.
Yeah, exactly. Whether it be computer training, job training, or any kind of training that anybody would need to like move on to the get out of their situation. I do really like that. The next question I have for you is, out of the current council members for Antioch, who do you feel your opinions and policies would mostly align with? This is the loaded question, I would admit.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to have to exclude anyone that might also be running for the same seat. No, they're all very good, and I've been thinking about this question quite a bit. Um, Actually, I'm going to kind of cheat on this one, and my answer to this one is Tamisha Walker. You just interviewed her. She's not a current city council person, but she is very good. I watched her video. She has a lot of good ideas, and I think she's thinking in the right way to really help them out.
I really like that answer, especially because she's not a current candidate and you're endorsing her like this. I really like that.
Thank you.
So the next one is a pretty long question, so I'm going to break it down into a few small parts because it's like a four-part question. So the first part of the question is, if elected into Antioch Council, what changes would you implement for our city in regards to our current COVID-19 reaction?
Okay. Um, so you actually, there's 5 categories on there.
Yeah, the next one would be in terms of retaining small local business in distress, rent and mortgage deferment and eviction soon to follow, and homeless protection.
Okay, so the COVID-19 was a separate one. I would have the city follow the county and state guidelines and do our best to make sure that those guidelines are upheld and try and provide medical services to maybe some of the less fortunate people in our area.
So, uh,
Okay, so support local businesses.
hmm?
Again, that's a big one, and that's again a bigger nut than the city can crack. But I would partner with the Small Business Association with the federal government, the Better Business Bureau, the Golden Gate Business Association, and any number of different business organizations supporting Latinx or Black businesses or what have you. Partner with these organizations, try and pool the resources that we've got going on here, and encourage. The SBA is really good about this. Grants and grant proposals, loans to these businesses, sure, but loans have to be repaid. Grants will get them through. This is going to be a short time, Kevin. This is not going to be something that's going to be for the rest of our lives. We're going to be in this pandemic, hopefully for no more than 6 months or a year.
I'm praying.
Yeah, yeah. We're going to come back. I mean, the demand is out there. People want to get out.
Awesome. And then
Okay.
homeless protection.
Homeless protection. Okay, so I'm going to claim naivete here. I was trying to understand what's the difference between the homeless problem and homeless protection. Can you help me?
Yeah. So right now, the what's going on in Antioch is that APD is removing homeless encampments, but due to the county guidelines of SIP orders, they're saying not to distress these encampments until the SIP orders are removed. So people are wondering, as a city, what should we do about this? Should we leave them alone, or should we continue to uproot these encampments? It's a
Okay. I think that we should have homeless outreach. Definitely go out there and all the above that I mentioned for the homeless problems. Because if there aren't homeless people, then we don't have this homeless protection problem.
Mhm.
And I'm going to be honest, and I say I don't know enough about this to
That's
definitively
perfectly
say.
fine.
My heart kind of leans towards, well, leave them alone for now, and let's try and help them as much as we can.
That's where I lean towards too. Is like that's how they do their shelter in place. So moving it could possibly move the disease further. Is my only reasoning for leaving them alone. Honestly, I don't agree with the garbage that the community is concerned with what they pile on as well. But these people need help as well. They can't just start by just taking their stuff. I don't know if you've seen the show Hoarders, but there's a process, there's therapy that is involved. So the homeless is a lot like the show Hoarders, is how I see it. They need the proper help for them to like solve it instead of going from street corner to street corner. But
Exactly.
yeah. So that is the I think we missed one, which would be the
Mortgage rent.
evictions soon to follow, and protecting people for rent and mortgages.
Okay, so I've been struggling with this since the first relief package that was passed by the federal government. I think this should have been addressed way back then. It's a snowball. We saw it in 2008 when everybody started losing their houses and it just snowballed. We want to stay away from that kind of a thing. The only things that I could think of off the top of my head was work with the landlords. If they're one, two person properties, maybe they can adjust the rent. If they're larger scale, maybe they can make bigger adjustments so that people can actually afford to pay the rent with their unemployment checks. And again, hopefully we're not in this forever. No, we won't be in this forever. And then as far as mortgage goes, I work with the banks. I'm just going to be mean here and say the banks were the ones that got us into the problem in 2008. Maybe they need to contribute to certain solution now and say, okay, time out mortgage holiday for 6 months. That's all a mortgage holiday. You still have to pay that 6 months on the other end. But I guess there's a lot more to it than just that. But those are some of the things that I was thinking about, and hopefully, anybody who wants to listen to this, you're welcome to steal the ideas.
Yeah, that concludes the interview. Is there anything that you would like to plug or closing statements?
Um, Alex Thomas Sorghum running for Antioch City Council District 4. Antioch have a really large and mature set of people to choose from mayor to all your city council positions. Get out and vote. Your vote is counted.
Awesome. In the future, there's going to be a young voters event. I'm not sure when because it was supposed to be scheduled this last week with because of the heat wave we had to cancel it. So I'll give you the information of that. I don't know if you'll be wanting to speak to young voters within Antioch or not.
Absolutely, yes.
Awesome. Awesome. So yeah, I'll give you the information for that, and I wish you good luck on your campaign.
Thank you, Kevin, and thank you for giving me a chance to talk. I appreciate it.